Hey, what's up guys, for coming at you with a brand new deck profile, and today we're going to take a look at my current Buddyfight deck profile. One of my favorite franchises, Idolm ster Cinderella Girls, was added to the game last year. This is a build based around my two favorite subunits, Asterisk and Illuminate. So before we get into it, let's remind everyone what the flag does for Idolm ster. So it allows us to use the Idolm ster Cinderella Girls theater cards. At the end of our turn, if the buddy is on the field, we can gain 1 life, draw a card, and put the top card of our deck face down into our buddy zone. Buddy on our field get plus 2,000 power and plus 2,000 defense for each face down card in our buddy zone. With that out of the way, guys, let's jump into the profile and hopefully you guys do. My buddy is Miku Maekawa Kitty Cat Idol. She's a size 1 with 5,000 attack and 1,000 power with 2 critical. Her ability reads, counter as an act during your attack phase, you may return any idol you want from your field to your hand. Then you can call an idol from your hand that has the same name as the returned one, by paying its call cost. You can use this ability once per turn. Now this is not a hard once per turn, meaning if you do have 2 Mikus on the field, you can do this effect twice. The second effect is when Riina Tada enters the battlefield, you stand this card. It's also worth noting, of course, that Miku has Penetrate. Primary combo is going to be the Miku Riina Asterisk combo. Also run 4 copies of Riina Tada. Like Miku, Riina is a size 1 with 5,000 power and 1,000 defense with 2 critical and penetrate. When she's called from your hand to field by a card effect, she gains double attack. If Miku is on your field, both Riina and Miku get 5,000 power and an extra critical. If Riina is attacking alone and Natsuki is on your field, Riina's attack cannot be nullified and damage dealt by Riina cannot be reduced. Now the Natsuki portion of the combo is present in the deck, but it's not the main focus. The main focus of the deck is doing the Asterisk combo. Now, what's also important is we do need to remember that Miku is going to be very big very quickly due to the way our flag actually works. So linking attacking with these characters can be really good, considering we can do as much penetrate damage as possible. So essentially the best way to play the combo is you have 2 Miku and 1 Riina out on the field. You're going to swing whatever order you want, and because of the way the cards are worded, you can bounce them however you want during the attack phase. You can use Miku to bounce Riina. Riina will enter, and that will restand both our Mikus. Then Riina will have double attack, so we can link attack again, or even just double link attack. She'll restand, link, and then we can bounce and do the combo all over again. Now this deck does die really hard, like Loyalty, and essentially there's nothing we can really do about that. It's kind of like the biggest weakness of the deck, as well as our units being destroyed. Being that we are pseudo Dark Illuminate, we are playing 3 copies of Ranko. Now, of course, every Idolm ster deck that I've seen is running Ranko because, well, she draws you cards. So she has a named ability called Swallowed by the Darkness. Whenever another idol enters your field, you get to draw 2 cards. But, of course, we're Dark Illuminate in this deck as well, so we do run Asuka. So the combo with Asuka is when she attacks, if Asuka is on your field, both Ranko and Asuka get Penetrate and double attack. Now, Asuka is a size 1 with 5,000 attack and 1,000 defense with 2 critical. As a counter act during your opponent's turn, you can call her from your hand. When she enters the field for the turn, Ranko gains 10,000 power and 10,000 defense. At the start of each player's turn, you can bounce Asuka back to the hand. So essentially having both of these, you can play her in your own turn with Ranko on the field, draw 2 cards, characters having, both of them having double attack with penetrate at 2 critical. With second ability, of course, you can then bounce Asuka back to your hand, and in your opponent's turn, play her again to draw some cards. Natsuki. Natsuki is a size 1 with 5,000 power and 1,000 defense with 2 critical. She has a call cost where we pay or engage to put the top card of our library underneath her soul. You can counter call her, which is really cool. Continuous ability is all idol on our field cannot be returned to hand by card effects, and if Riina's on the field, Natsuki gets an extra 2 critical. Could actually cut Natsuki from the deck, but because she is definitely related to Riina, I really wanted to run her for theme's sake, but there's definitely a much better cards you can run instead of Natsuki. To run Natsuki at 3, but I actually swapped out 1 for Sachiko. So Sachiko is a size 0 with 2,000 attack, 2,000 defense with 1 critical. She is counter call act during your opponent's turn. You can pay or engage and call her from your hand and change the attack target to this card. If a face down card is in your buddy zone, she gains plus 5,000 power and 1 critical, which is really good even if you just play her as an attacker. And when she's destroyed, you may pay 1 life, return her to your hand. So you can counter call her. She can definitely eat up a lot of damage, and you can easily get that buddy block combo off with her pretty quickly. Final characters we're having in the deck, of course, pretty standard. 4 copies of Chihiro. So Chihiro is an act we can discard her from your hand to look up the top 6 cards of our deck, put 2 idle characters from them into our hand, and put the rest on the bottom of the deck in any order. Chihiro is not once per turn, and up to 2 we don't, and they can be of the same name. One of the key gimmicks of the Idolm ster set is the fact that everything goes under the bud. There are spells that do that for us, and the first one we're going to take a look at is Floral Yumi. So it allows us to look at the top 3 cards of our deck, put a card among them into our hand, and put the rest into our gauge. Then this card goes face down into our buddy zone. Now this is a hard once per turn effect, but the ability to check top 3, add 1, gain 2 gauge, and gain a card under the buddy is, well, really good and definitely worth maxing out at 4 copies of. The next card that similarly works like this, Try New Things. We're running at 3 because if at least with Floral Yumi we actually get to see all 3 cards and we know where everything is going. It's the top card of our deck into gauge, gains us a life, and then we draw a card. Then this card also goes underneath the buddy. Any card that can go under the buddy for us gives us extra power for our Miku. Considering that we have cards under the buddy, we can take our draw 2 into a draw 3 with Flower Viewing in the off season. So we pay 1 gauge and we can draw 2 cards. If there's 2 or more face down cards in our buddy zone, we get to draw a card. So basically we get to draw 3. It is a hard once per turn, but a pay 1 gauge to draw 3 cards can be really useful. This deck is actually really good at thinning itself. Problem is getting everything we need super consistently can be a bit of an issue, but I guess that's just a flaw of the set in general. We want to search for specific characters or salvage specific characters. We have Lost Thoughts in Autumn. It's pay 1 gauge and allows us to choose one of the following 2. We can only use this card once per turn. We can put up to 1 idle character from our deck to our hand and shuffle our deck, or we can put up to 2 idle characters with different names from our drop zone to our hand. Other cards we have for disruption now, we have Sexy Guilty. So Sexy Guilty has quite a few effects. It's pay 2 life, and at counter speed we can choose one of the following 3. On the top card of our deck into gauge, for each face down card in our buddy zone, we can make a lot of gauge, we don't necessarily use it. We can choose 1 character on our field for each face down card in our buddy zone and stand them in response to someone resting our field. Last effect is we can choose 1 card on your opponent's field for each face down card in our buddy zone and destroy them. So obviously the last effect is the most important that we're going to deal with. We have 3 copies of What Are You Talking About? We pay 1 gauge, choose a card on our opponent's field and rest it. Then if we have a face down card in the buddy zone, which we will, we get to rest another card. So in terms of protection, we have 2 copies of You Should Understand. It's a call cost for pay 2 gauge, and it's a counter, so for this turn, idle on our field, on the left and right, cannot be destroyed. Then for this turn, damage you take is reduced by 2. So obviously the best way to use this combo is to place Miku on one of your Mikus on either the left or right, and put Riina on the other side. Do never put Riina in the center, because my idols being destroyed is an easy way to get rid of the combo. A lot of times I play this deck, and people are just going to destroy Miku or Riina. Most of the time, they're just going to destroy Miku because she's the whole combo, where Riina, they kill Riina, is like, whatever. Also, Miku's the buddy, so Miku tends to be a lot bigger than Riina. Next up, we have some nulls, and we have 4 copies of Ranko Quest, which of course is on theme for our deck because Dark Illuminate sub-theme. So we can only cast this card during attack on our opponent's turn. We nullify the attack, and if we have 3 or more idle on our field, we can put the top card of our deck into our gauge, gain a life, and draw a card. So we're maxing out on this because we need as much nulls as possible because we want to survive as many attacks. Also running 2 copies of the Buddy block, which is our 3-bout battle. So we pay 1 gauge, and we can choose one of the following 2. For this turn, the next damage you take is reduced by 3. And if your opponent's card's attacked 4 or more times this turn, for this turn, you cannot take damage by attacks. So what's really good with this, and considering that we don't have a very high gauge usage deck, we can actually eat up 3 attacks with Suchko. Of course, we're going to lose 3 life, but I'd rather lose 3 gauge and 3 life than opposed to losing all my life. And then we can just drop this, and we can soak up as many attacks as possible, as quickly as possible, then drop the Miku combo next turn and finish them off, assuming they don't have the response. Next up, every Idolm ster deck probably runs 1 copy of Still Hasn't Changed. We can only cast this card if there are 3 or more idols in our drop zone. 3 or more different idols in our drop zone. We can put one of them back to our hand, then for the rest of the turn, all Buddy's power on my field becomes infinite. Then we reshuffle our deck. And of course, this is a once per fight card, so we can only use it once per game. Now, this card is pretty funny, and it makes our Miku infinite power, which can actually really help us win the game, assuming they don't have any ways to destroy our Mikus or stop our combo in any way. We can just beat over anything. Now, of course, we have some more protection for Miku with I wasn't expecting this many. So this is a set spell, meaning it stays on the field, and all Buddy on our field cannot be destroyed or returned to hand, and their abilities cannot be nullified by opponent's card effects. This effect itself cannot be nulled. However, she can still be destroyed by battle. At the start of our final phase, you get stand a buddy on our field, and it can attack during the final phase. Now, I did get ruling on this card. I believe it is only one copy of our buddy, so it's not all our Mikus get to restand, unfortunately, but the ability to attack again with another Miku with Riina on the field is an extra 3 damage if we have that penetrate, because we have that nice penetrate if we can hit through. So that's really good. So I actually really do like running this card at 2. Not every other Master deck is going to run this card, but because of how important Miku is to our combo and how big we want her to get as quickly as possible, and how much damage she can do if Riina's on the field, it's important we do have that. We're running 1 copy of When I Grow Up, so if our cards would be dropped from our cards would be dropped by your opponent's card effects, we will reveal this card, pay 1 life, and if we do, our hand cards cannot be dropped. At counter speed, we can choose one of the following 2, put the top 2 cards of our deck into our gauge, gain 2 life, and then we can drop 2 souls. So the main reason that I would be using this is to gain 2 life, or if someone's going to discard cards from my hand. I don't really have too much of an issue with the Soul Guard because of how much damage this deck can actually do. The last 2 cards we're running in the deck are 2 copies of the Blue Impact. There is only 1 etude. So we can only cast this card if our buddy is on the field, which is not going to be too difficult in this deck because Miku always wants to be on the field. It costs us 3 gauge and allows us to stand all idle on our field, and then for this turn, all idle on our field can attack during the final phase, which is really good considering if we have our Dark Illuminate combo, we're going to be having, 2 characters with double attack. Or if we have our Miku combo, we have, of course, our 3 crit penetrate. We all have our penetrates for our 2 main combos, which can be really devastating for the opponent to deal with. Overall, guys, this is, like I said, more of a casual deck. So if you do have any suggestions that I could do in terms of making a side deck for this to make it a little bit more powerful, right now I do have running the trick is 2, which will stop our idols from being destroyed, rested, or bounced from our opponent's effects. I was actually running a second copy of Sachiko, and I actually really want to run Nana in the deck as well. Now, Nana is a size 2, but she's a size 1 on field. So, but it's pay 3 gauge and put the top 3 cards of the deck into our soul. So the call cost for Nana is pretty big, but she, so our attack phase, we may drop 3 souls from Nana, and if we do, our life total becomes 17, which can be pretty funny. And if there is a face-down card in our buddy zone, well, of course, she becomes a size 1 on field. So she doesn't really hurt our combo too much, as we can still have Miku and Riina chilling on the field, or if we're going for that secondary Dark Illuminate combo, we can have Ranko and Asuka on the field, and then just drop a Nana as well, so then we can sack Nana if we need to, and go straight up to 17 life, going on to that combo, of course, that Nana is forever 17. But anyway, guys, that is it for the profile. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, remember to like the video, drop a comment below, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button on the channel as well, and that bell button. It really does help out. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you for my next video.